The New England Patriots earned the victory over the Chicago Bears with defense, veteran experience, and mostly solid play calling. Looks like someone turned the monster keys to victory. Stick around. You're about to be locked in to the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you for joining us here today on Victory Monday on Locked On Patriots, and most of all for making us a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country. Reach out to me. Let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATENFL. While you're out there showing some love to Locked On Patriots social media style, please follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And of course, folks, today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code, all lowercase, LockedOnNFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. Pats fans, it is a Victory Monday. We'd be remiss if we did not begin this Monday with a major tip of the cap and heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to all of you veterans out there. Happy Veterans Day to each and every veteran of the United States Armed Forces. And it's a good feeling Monday, Murph, because the Patriots entered this game as 6-point road underdogs, coming away with a 19-3 victory over the Bears at Soldier Field in the Windy City. Quarterback Drake Maye leading 5 scoring drives, and the Patriots sacking fellow rookie quarterback Caleb Williams a season high, Murph.
9 times.
9 times. That helped New England to a 3-7 record, and now the Patriots head into this weekend's matchup against the Los Angeles Rams at Gillette Stadium with a little extra spring in their step. And here today to help us put another extra spring in our steps today is our good friend, the legend himself, the Count of Murphy Fisto, my good friend Thomas Murphy. Thank you for coming to me today in friendship and, of course, on Victory Monday. So, Murph.
I love it. I love it, man. Prove me wrong. Keep proving me wrong. I predicted at the beginning of the season it would be a 3-win season, and we might be looking at a 5-win season now.
Yeah. As the late, great Casey Kasem would say,
Right.
Murph, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars. You never know what could happen, but we're going to continue to enjoy these wins. And that's right, folks. Murph and I can both tell you, enjoy the wins. It's not about jockeying for draft position. A young team like this needs to learn it can win games like this. And I thought they did a very good job. And Murph, we'll start with the rookie quarterback, our rookie quarterback here in New England, Drake Maye, earning his first start-to-finish win on Sunday. 15 of 25, 184 yards overall. So those stats are not going to leap off the page. But you know what pleased me the most about this win, bud?
What's that?
They turned your monster keys for the first time in a long while. Drake and the Patriots finally used play action to their advantage. Still some question marks, but for the most part, I thought Alex Van Pelt and the offensive coaching staff did a very good job of keeping Drake in a position where he was comfortable to do that. When the Patriots used play action, Drake completed 4 of 6, 71 yards. His touchdown came out of play action. His interception came off of play action too, folks. We're not going to get to that one. We'll get into that in a little bit, but let's talk about the positives first, bud. Overall, how would you grade Drake Maye's performance on Sunday against the Bears?
It's a solid B. It's a solid B. Like you said, the stats aren't going to jump off the ground, but what impressed me the most was that early interception that you just mentioned, and Drake just getting right back on the horse. This kid's ability to just push back and push the bad aside and get back on the horse and start riding is impressive as hell. It really is. I called for my keys for the Patriots to get into attack mode, and we saw it. They ran the verts, they busted seams, they ran some crisp crossers, and picked up a few first downs, a few points, and things got a little dicey down in the red zone. I think the Pats were 1 for 5 in the red zone. 1 for 5, including a really bad miss of Hunter Henry down there in the third quarter, where they ended up settling. But Joey Sly was a man to be reckoned with yesterday in the Windy City,
Yeah, he was
and he hit
absolutely was.
every single one of his opportunities. And a tip of the cap to that
Mm,
young man right there. It was really beautiful. This game could have gone in a different way if it wasn't for the defense stepping up in the way that they did, and we'll get that to that in a second. But um, they were able to set up play action because the run game was working,
mm,
to a certain extent. It wasn't a beautiful thing. It really wasn't. I think Mike has the number right there in front of him, but Ramondre ran for 74 yards.
mm.
Antonio Gibson, finally, thank you. Yes, key turned. Get Antonio Gibson involved in the game, please. This is the reason that we went out
Absolutely.
and got him.
That's right.
A nice change of pace. He sees holes, he hits holes, and he gets positive yardage. The Patriots did a great job yesterday of not playing from behind the sticks, and it showed. It showed up. Like I said, I would have been a little bit happier if we had executed down in the red zone a little bit more, and I wasn't so enthralled with Joey Sly.
Yeah, definitely. Joey Sly is a name I think you're going to hear a lot more in this broadcast, folks. So don't go anywhere. We're definitely going to provide our players of the game. Who knows? Maybe Sly shows up in that
Yeah.
regard. You never know, folks. Strange things happen here on Locked On Patriots. But bottom line, I think you're absolutely correct. This play action game was able to come alive because of the
Yep.
usage of the running game. And I think you put it perfectly. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't
No.
perfect, but you know what? It was efficient enough to get the job done. And sometimes when you're a young team clamoring for wins, just trying to build on any positives you can, sometimes winning a gritty game that you've played as bad as you've played well, that
Right.
allows you to come out on top is a building experience. It's a learning experience. And I think it's going to be a very good experience for this team and this young running core. Ramondre Stevenson, like you said, 20 carries, 74 yards. Antonio Gibson carried the ball 5 times for 26 yards. Drake Maye had 4 carries for 24, and
Yep.
Jermichael Hasty carrying the ball 6 times for 20
Yeah.
yards. 144 yards total on the ground. Again, not world breaking, but
No.
when you look at what the Patriots running game has been lately, they came up big, and they came up big in a big
That's
way.
it. And that's the Patriot way.
Mhm,
Stats that don't jump off. A lot of guys contributing to this to that 100+ yard rushing game, and it was really great to see. It was
yeah,
it was great to see this aspect of Patriots football get on track. Now, don't
mhm,
get me wrong, the Bears are horrible at
mhm.
stopping the run.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's
they're,
bad
they're
run
really
defense.
horrible at stopping the run this year, and that's why this was basically pushed down on my keys. I I expected it, and the guys went out and made it happen.
Mm, they did go out and make it happen. And the offensive line, Murph, has not received its share of laurels this year.
Right.
If anything, there have been a lot more vitriol thrown at them for anything. But I want to give some credit to this line, the job that they did on Sunday. Look, there's been a lot of uncertainty as to who would start on this line. The Patriots going with Vidarian Lowe at left tackle,
Yep.
Michael Jordan at left guard, Ben Brown in the middle, Michael Wenu at right guard, and Trey Jacobs at right tackle. The Patriots held the Bears to a 42% rushing success. And they also, and this was the area that I was really worried about coming in with
Yeah.
guys like Montez Sweat and that type of defense that can get after the quarterback if they have
That's
the
it.
opportunity. They held that defensive front to a 34.5% pressure rate. So, tip of the cap to the offensive
Right.
line. They definitely did, I think, a very good job. Credit to the coaching staff, but credit to the players that went out there and
Yeah.
executed when they needed to. One of the big reasons why I think the running game looks so comfortable and why
Yep.
the passing game was able to come alive in certain situations. But
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. This was the same offensive line that started against the Jets, and the Jets
mm,
win down there. This was the same offensive line grouping that finished it out in overtime in Tennessee. And it takes time, people.
it does.
And a lot of the problems, I've sat here and talked at nauseum about what it's like to be an offensive lineman and have a rotation around you. You have to build a continuity on the offensive line. You have to be able to know what the man next to you, who's you're playing footsies with, on down there is
Mm,
going to be doing, and if he's going to be there for you. I hope they keep this group together. I hope
mm,
I don't have to hear any more about Mike Onweyu moving over to the left side again. Not that
mm.
Onweyu had a fantastic game. I don't think he did, but everybody else did a really good job. Of keeping a pretty clean pocket for Drake May and allowing him to move the chains.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's games like this, folks, that build leadership, that build camaraderie in that locker room. And one of the big ways to build camaraderie is leaders tend to emerge in these situations. You start to see players looking to become the vocal leaders on their team. And who knows, maybe it even leads to a taking of the captainship in subsequent years. Yeah, I'm talking about Drake May. We're going to bring things back to Drake just for a moment here before we move on to the defense, which was impressive, I thought, yesterday. When you look at Drake May and the reports that came out during the game, prior to the game, that he held a meeting with the team, wanted to be the vocal guy, wanted to get
Right.
up there, is this a game where he finally took that step forward as a future leader of this team?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. He did that last Wednesday when he stood up and addressed the team,
Mm,
and he's not commanding respect. He's earning respect, and I
mm,
think that's
very
a
good point.
fantastic way to go about it. It's not easy for rookie quarterback kids to come in there and talk to a bunch of grown men. Drake May's 22 years old.
Hmm.
I have kids older than Drake May.
I have shoes older
I
than
have
Drake
shoes
May,
older
folks.
than Drake May. Yeah, exactly. This T-shirt is
Mm,
older than Drake May, and but no, what he's been able to do both in the locker room, in the meeting room, and what he showed Sunday on the sidelines was fantastic. There's no panic in this kid's game. We talked about it
mm,
earlier when he threw that awful pick, just
yeah.
awful.
Yeah, awful decision. Drake addressed that at the podium. I got to give him credit for it. Said that he was trying to throw it away. He needs to
Right.
throw it away with a little more gusto.
Come
He's going to
on.
have those moments, folks, but you need to clean those up too. At the same
Yeah.
time, he's getting into that stretch in his career now where he needs to start moving forward from those.
We're going to see them again, but the point of the matter is that he bounced right back from that. He
That's
didn't
the
let
good
it,
point.
he didn't hang his head. There was no
Thank you.
there's no bad body language. There's no, screaming over at the sidelines. He put on a good show. He
Mm,
really did. There were a couple of passes
yeah.
that were underthrown again. You blame that on the wind, or you blame that on his nerves. Like I said, he missed a couple of opportunities down in the red zone, or we might have been talking about, a 28-3 game.
Mm,
And those things are going to get better. They're going to get cleaned up.
yeah.
But just understand, people, we're not going to see for the rest of the year a defense that is this poor against the run.
Mm,
Really not. I bucked the system in my keys. I wanted them to throw the ball more simply because the run blocking has been so terrible. The run
mm.
blocking stepped up this week. Holes were opened up and guys hit them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the New England Patriots offense showed a lot of improvement on
Yep.
Sunday, and it showed in the box score. But I think they'd be remiss, and Drake May would be the first to admit it, that the defense deserved the lion's share of the credit for what happened on the field. Murph and I are going to talk defensive keys to victory that were turned when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, our friends over at 5 Hour Energy know that being a passionate football fan isn't just a hobby, it's a way of life. It takes a lot of energy to power through all day tailgates, touchdown celebrations, or an agonizing second overtime, which is why they've created the Stand the Fan 5 Hour Energy Shot with a special flavor called Fan Fuel, the energy shot made just for superfans like you. The fans who are first in the parking lot and who are the last to leave. We see you. And 5 Hour Energy knows that no matter what team you root for, being a fan requires heart, soul, and a whole lot of energy. Whether you're prepping for the big tailgate or ironing your jersey, your game day to-do list is always a mile long. That's why the limited edition Stand the Fan 5 Hour Energy Shot is here to help keep you fueled throughout the season. What's your fan fuel this week? Whatever it is, do it with a 5 Hour Energy. Available on 5hourenergy.com, shipped nationwide. Listen up, Locked On listeners. When it comes to daily fantasy sports, Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. And what I love most about Prize Picks is that it puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. And when you sign up today, you get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup when downloading the app today and using the code LOCKEDONNFL. Prize Picks. Run your game. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots, and a special tip of the cap to all of you who make us your first listen each and every day. If you've done so, Murph and I implore you to make your second listen our good friends over at Locked On NFL. All the major storylines across the NFL Shield. As always, Locked On NFL, just like Locked On Patriots, is free and available on all platforms and a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And speaking of your team, my good friend Thomas Murphy and I continue to break down your favorite team in Foxborough's Week 10 win over the Chicago Bears in the Windy City on Sunday. The Pats with a 19-3 victory that pushes them to 3-7 on the season. And Murph, in the previous segment, we talked about Drake Maye and the offense coming alive, looking like they were starting to figure things out. And when I think about the defensive performance, Murph, in this, there was a little Ferris Bueller aura in the game really all week long. I mean, you're talking Chicago. Yeah, I had my fun with Miguel here on Friday with the super fans, but I was thinking Ferris Bueller as well. And who knew that Edward R. Rooney, Dean of Students, Murph, was going to be essentially responsible for the voiceover in this matchup. Patriots had 7 defenders log a sack on Sunday, and they sacked Caleb Williams
9 times.
9
times.
9 times. Yes, he probably wasn't sick. He was skipping school. Now, all kidding aside, folks, this is something that I think Patriots fans should get excited about, because we're talking about a defensive line, especially that defensive front, that front 7 that had struggled for a few games now in a row. And people are wondering who's going to take the step up. Well, Dietrich Wise Jr., 2 sacks on Sunday. Anthony Jennings had 2 sacks. You know that brought a big-time cheer from our good friend Steve Balistrieri. Loves him some Anthony Jennings. But they weren't the only ones that were getting in on the sack party in Chicago. Jelani Tavai, Jeremiah Farms. What a great game from Jeremiah Farms. Keon White, Del Pattis, and Brendan Schooler, who shined in what the Patriots are calling right now a Longhorn package.
Okay.
I mean, it's a package we've seen before, folks. I guess they're naming it to honor Brendan.
Yeah. He was able to slide down, and he did a fantastic job. And everybody who complains, why are you paying special teams guys this much money? Why is it so important? Well, here you go.
Yeah.
You know, they got him into the game. I said in my keys that, you know, I wanted quarters coverage. I wanted things to be mixed up.
Right.
Everybody knows how much I love quarters. It goes back to the old days of pinball. But it was they were able to keep Williams confused. They were able to keep him off balance. He threw the ball poorly all day long. I think what were they? 1 for 14 on 3rd down. Excellent job. And I said that this coverage was going to put more onus on the safeties. I was talking about Mapu and Duggar. I was hoping Duggar would be back. Mapu didn't play too big of a role, but the safeties really stepped up in this week. And Tavai ended up having a fantastic game, you know, acting as that hook defender that I talked about in my keys on Sunday. Tavai ended up with 7 solo, 9
total.
7 solo, 9 total, and the sack, and it was a and 1 TFL.
Mhm.
and a fantastic day. And so I hate to pat myself on the back. I really that's a lie. I love to
Oh,
pat myself on the
please do.
back. Um, what I called for on defense, keeping him confused, and most importantly, keeping this young man contained. Chicago kind of stepped into it. I don't understand why they keep rolling this kid out to one side or the other and taking away 2/3 of the field for him to work with.
Mm,
But it worked, and even when he was rolling out, they kept him contained. They kept him in front of the defensive front seven, kept him in front. They kept that good pad level. They gap integrity is a way of life.
exactly. Yep.
Okay, gap integrity, and this is what happens when you do that. Even against a team that has a very banged up offensive front line,
Mhm.
but you still got to do your job. Those
Yeah,
guys didn't do their job.
you're
The
right.
Patriots defense did.
They did, absolutely. And I think you hit the nail on the head perfectly. Gap integrity.
Yep,
And also, let's give a nod to the Patriots' strategy to play man coverage on most of Caleb's
yep,
dropbacks. 61% of his dropbacks, the Patriots played man coverage. And when Lauren Cox, host of Locked On Bears, joined me on Thursday here for the crossover, I talked about the Patriots maybe being smart to increase the snaps on man
yep,
coverage. And he said this worried him when it came to Caleb, especially by what he's seeing from him lately and the breakdowns along that offensive line. So credit to the Patriots for
yep,
identifying a weakness and going after it. And again, I think Brendan Schooler had some fun in that as well.
yeah,
He was on those. He was the spy on those dropbacks, folks, and that allowed him to showcase his speed, his tackling ability in the open field, and earn the sack. So he definitely had a good game. I know a lot of people had a lot of fun with him on social media on Sunday, but they all did deserve it. And I think, again, it comes back to Murph's point. This line desperately needed to set an edge. It
yep.
needed to be able to find a way to get after the quarterback, get home
Home
on
plenty, and they
Sunday.
set edges.
Absolutely.
Okay, which I keep beating and beating and beating. This could have been a monster game for DeAndre Swift.
Mm, it could have
Monster.
been. Yep,
And they held him
absolutely.
to under 4 yards a carry. He had
Yep,
16 carries for like under 60 yards.
59. Yep.
And I thought he was one of the guys that could have done some serious damage, especially with the way the Patriots have been playing against the run and not setting that edge. So
Mm.
I'm gonna have to give it to my guy White and the rest of the boys over there that set edges on Sunday, held their gaps, and played smart football.
They did. And you look at what this team was able to do in terms of being able to stifle the run. Again, not an easy task for this defense, Murph. The Patriots have
Now,
been eclipsing the century mark in yards allowed on the ground repeatedly over and over again. They held the Chicago Bears to a net of 73 yards on Sunday. And that's due to solid play.
yep,
Again, Devon Godchaux sets the tone on
right.
this. Daniel Laquale, I think, has played very well in trying to step up into that role. But you lose Raekwon McMillan earlier this week due to waivers. Christian Ellis is out with an injury. Joe Giles Harris coming in and being elevated, I thought was a smart move for this
Yeah,
team.
everything kind of came together,
Yeah.
and you can say all you want about the level of competition that they've had to play,
Mm.
but the Patriots have been playing at that level of competition all year.
It's true. And you know what? You can't control the competition you're
No,
playing against. The Patriots dominated that competition. They didn't barely squeak by, folks. You can talk all you want to about being able to dominate a lesser team on Sunday.
right,
That's exactly what happened with the Patriots defensive front as opposed to their O line, the Bears O line. But
right.
they did. They dominated. And it was because of guys like Giles Harris coming in and helping Devon Godchaux. I thought Sion Takitaki had a good game as
Yeah.
well. Curtis Jacobs, undrafted rookie
Oh,
addition
yeah.
back in August, I thought had a pretty big
Yep.
game as well. So all of these guys going along and making plays and doing things it takes to win, to me, that's why this team was able to dominate not only the pass rush, but also when it came to stifling the running game.
Right.
And you hit the nail on the head. DeAndre Swift, 16 carries, 59 yards.
Yep.
This is a kid that can run for monster yardage when he's
Right.
given the chance. Patriots
And they
didn't give
didn't
him
give
that
him.
chance.
Nope.
They deserve a lot of credit for
They
that.
they really do. I preach when I coach baseball. Make the play in front of you.
Hmm.
And the
Absolutely.
Patriots did that. Yeah, and you can go all the way back to the first quarter, when Jalen Hawkins made the stop in the
Oh,
backfield that
great
he did,
stop.
man. It's a fantastic stop.
Mm.
Who was who tried to jump that route?
Marcus Jones
Marcus
really making a
Jones.
great read.
Marcus Jones made a great read, but he was just a little behind it. He just the ball
Mm.
he had just missed it. He would have been off to the races. That would have been
Yeah.
really pretty. But what Hawkins was able to do there with that stop, somebody was there to cover somebody else's back on every single play. And
Very
like I
good
said,
point.
making the play in front of you is paramount, whether it's in baseball or definitely in football. And Hawkins made the play in front of him there, and that was a tone setter.
It was. And I actually tweeted about that play during the game. That's how impressed I was with watching this defense and how the players that were involved. And we're talking about the secondary. We've given
Right.
so many
I know.
accolades to the front seven, and they deserve every single one of
But a
them.
lot
But
of it, a lot of those sacks, the nine times,
nine
nine times,
times
a lot of that was coverage. Okay, and
it
the
was.
back end was fantastic. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a second. And though Gonzo was just another brilliant performance
Yeah.
against a really good group of Chicago Bear wide receivers.
Yeah. Only allowed one catch, a total of 18 yards, and Caleb Williams only threw the ball in his direction four
Four
times on
times,
Sunday. Yeah, you're getting a reputation
right?
throughout the league of being a monster shutdown corner. Gonzo continues to be excellent. And
Yep,
yeah, oh, by the way, he's doing this against guys like DJ Moore, Rome
right,
Odunze, and say what you will, Keenan Allen, the savvy veteran. I
right,
covered Keenan for years when I was covering the Chargers, one of the best gifted route runners I've ever covered in professional football.
right.
Yeah, when you do that, you have to give a
He
tip
gave
of the
up
cap.
one catch
Mm,
for 18 yards
mm,
on whoever he
absolutely.
was. They just had him on the boundary. They had him. I thought for sure that he would have been, just sticking like glue to Ordunez all day long. But no, they
Mm,
put him out there on the boundary and just shut down whoever he's doing and
mm.
spread the coverage over to the other guys.
Absolutely. And again, a solid, complete team effort from start to finish, from the front seven to the middle of the defense to the secondary,
Yep.
helps the New England Patriots earn a 19-3 victory. And it's good times here in New England right now as the Pats prepare for their Week 11 matchup with the Los Angeles Rams. But which players made an impact on Sunday that deserve a special shout out here on Locked On Patriots? Murph and I are going to reveal our players of the game when this
Right.
episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. So this year, skip the holiday hustle and bustle and save 50% off gourmet gifts site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, you get a $30 reward card when you shop early. You can even score an extra $30 off with promo code NFL. With 5 generations of experience, Omaha Steaks consistently delivers the world's best steak experience. And the gifting experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully curated gift packages starting at $89.99. From legendary steaks to mouth-watering desserts and more, save 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code NFL and a $30 reward card when you shop early. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com. OMAHA steaks.com and an extra $30 off with promo code NFL. Minimum purchase may apply. Locked On listeners, get ready to tackle NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Let your New England fandom work for you by visiting FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win with your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots as we bask in the glow of a victory Monday here. The New England Patriots, a 19-3 victory over the Chicago Bears in Week 10, Soldier Field in Chicago. The Patriots taking on the Bears and beating the Bears. And not even Ditka could save the Bears on Sunday, Murph. But bottom line, this New England Patriots victory is not going to change anything radically for this team in terms of their prospects for 2024. We're still looking at a team that's almost certainly on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoffs, but it's a solid victory for this team moving forward and building on a positive performance. And they did it with solid performances from a number of players in all three phases of football. Murph, I know you're excited that most of your monster keys were turned, and that's why the Patriots enjoyed their victory. But if you were going to hand out some monster trophies, some monster player of the game awards, who would be your recipients and why?
All right, gold medal recipients this week. Austin Hooper.
Hooper drives the boat, Chief.
Hooper drives the boat, Chief.
He did on Sunday.
And he drove the boat on Sunday, exactly. 3 catches for 64 yards. His long was 28. He had a fantastic game. I found myself asking, where's Hunter Henry? Well, Hunter Henry was off being a decoy and dragging coverage. Austin Hooper was open, and Drake Maye hit him for a total of 64 yards again. So that's gold medal number one. Gold medal number two is to the one and only Jalen Polk for hanging on to a ball that he was wide open and able to catch down there in the end zone. The only touchdown that the Patriots were able to score. And then my last game ball is going to go to, I'm going to give it to Tavai. He had a fantastic game, 9 tackles, 7 solo. He had a sack, and he just did whatever he needed to do in that moment, and really helped this team get this victory on Sunday.
Very good choice.
Tied there. A lot of people that you could have given that to. You could have given it to Schooler. Yeah. You call it Longhorn Rat. He uses the rat. Just stop trying to make up new words, folks.
I'm not the rat, Murph. I'm not the rat.
Not the rat.
He was
the
rat. He was a spy. What's that?
Okay. All right, spies like us.
That's right.
So yeah, but no, those are my monster gold medals for Sunday's win over the Bears.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you're right. There were so many different players that could have deserved players of the game honors. I'm going to steal your thunder a little bit from earlier, and I'm going to go with Joey Sly. I'm going to say that he definitely deserves some kudos for what he did on Sunday. Sly finishing this one with a total of 13 points. Of course, he went 4 for 4 on field goals, made his lone extra point. But the field goals that he made, 30, 37, 25, 33. Again, they're not going to illuminate the stat sheet, but you look at this environment, you look at Soldier Field. They don't call Chicago the Windy City for nothing, folks. Anyone who's ever been knows that wind can be unforgiving. Joey was able to kick through it without any issue. And these are things that the Patriots were able to rely on for a number of years, whether it be with Adam Vinatieri or Steven Gostowski or Nick Folk being here and being the reliable presence they needed. Chad Ryland, I know he's doing some good things now in Arizona. Change of pace, change of scenery, good for him. But Sly, I think, is still the right fit for the Patriots here in New England. He proved it on Sunday. And, of course, the tip of the cap to him as well. He's playing with a little extra pride, a little extra smile, and he should. For those of you that don't know, folks, Joey and his wife, Brittany, welcomed their new daughter, Parker, on November 1st. So after the game, he talked about playing with some new dad energy, and you could certainly see that in Joey Sly. Happy for the both of them, wishing them both the best, and, of course, wishing Parker the best of health. But bottom line, when you have that type of performance from your kicker and you know that when he lines up, it's automatic, that's a good feeling for the offense and on the defense. So I want to give a little love to Joey Sly here as well.
Okay. I gave it early, you gave it late, and
absolutely.
There you go. I think he got his just dues this week.
And folks, fear not, because we are not done breaking down this 19-3 victory over the Bears just yet. There's still a grade report to come out. Stay tuned because you know who's responsible for bringing those grades here to Locked On Patriots. And of course, we'll continue to break down the very latest in news from Foxborough all week long, leading you up to Crossover Thursday with our good friends over at Locked On Rams, and then a matchup, a Week 11 matchup with the LA Rams at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. And in the meantime, I want to give a major tip of the cap to my good friend, the legend himself, Thomas Murphy, for not only lending us his monster keys, which he carries in his pocket like so many nickels and dimes, but also the wisdom, the counsel, and the wit that we come to love here on the show so much. And before we take leave of today's episode, and before we take leave of our Players of the Game theme this segment, Murph, I think it's time. I think we've arrived at the perfect time to honor the true players of the game, the real players of the game, each and every day. On a personal note, I know, and I know Murph joins me in expressing our gratitude to each and every member, whether it be past or present, whether it be alive or deceased, of the United States Armed Forces. Your bravery, your dedicated service to our country will forever be admired, and we celebrate you, not just today, but every day. On behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service, for which we will all remain forever in your debt. On behalf of Thomas Murphy, I'm Mike Debate, reminding all of you to stay safe, to stay well, to be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow on Locked On Patriots.